What if I told you this was once considered garbage, but now? Americans devour 1.48 billion of these on Super Bowl Sunday alone. That's enough to circle the earth 1.5 times. How did a piece of chicken destined for the restaurant trash can become a national icon? This is that paradoxical story. Let's get into it. Before 1964, the fate of a chicken wing in an American restaurant was pretty much sealed. It went straight into the trash can. Or, if it was lucky, it was tossed into a pot to make stock. It was, literally, the cheapest and most unwanted part of the bird. Fast forward to 2026, and things couldn't be more different. Americans will tear through 1.48 billion chicken wings on Super Bowl Sunday alone. So how did a piece of trash become America's soul food? The starting point of this incredible journey was a small bar in Buffalo, New York. March 4th, 1964. The Anchor Bar. The owner was an Italian immigrant, Teressa Bellissimo. And it was in her hands that history was made, entirely by accident. Late that night, Teressa's son, Dominic, showed up at the bar with a group of friends. They were all starving and looking for a late-night bite. But there was a problem. The kitchen was nearly closed for the night, and they were fresh out of anything suitable to serve. Teressa scrambled, checking the refrigerator. All she found was a batch of chicken wings. Back then, wings weren't on the menu. Not much meat, too many bones, and they were just a hassle to eat. But she had no other choice. Teressa deep-fried the wings. Then, on the spot, she whipped up a sauce of cayenne hot sauce and butter. To cut through the richness, she served them with a side of celery and blue cheese dressing. The result? The friends devoured the wings in an instant. They came back the next day, and the day after that. Eventually, word began to spread. You have to go to the Anchor Bar. They have these insane chicken wings. It was, simply put, a massive hit. And now, 60 years later, the buffalo wing has transformed from a local bar snack into a global phenomenon. But there's a huge irony in this success story. Teressa Bellissimo never once thought to patent her creation or trademark the name. She just made it for her son's friends, and because her customers loved it. That was all. And it's in that gap that a very interesting debate arises. Who was really the first? Most people believe Teressa at the Anchor Bar created the wing in 1964. But there's a completely different claim. Ever heard the name John Young? He was an African-American chef who ran a restaurant in Buffalo in the early 1960s called Wings and Things. He sold chicken wings tossed in a sweet and tangy mumbo sauce. And his style was to deep fry the wing whole without splitting it. To this day, John Young's family insists that their father started selling chicken wings years before the Anchor Bar. But Young was clumsy at promoting his dish, and he never registered a trademark. He eventually passed away in 1988 at the age of 53, and his name gradually faded into obscurity. No one can say for certain who the true originator was. But one thing is clear. In Buffalo, in the 1960s, the discarded chicken wing began to get a second look. And from that moment on, the part of the chicken treated like trash rose to become a symbol of America. Super Bowl 2026. Americans will order 1.48 billion chicken wings. That's 10 million more than last year. What was once a mere byproduct of livestock farming went on to change the poultry market, redefine restaurant menus, and become a food that completes American sports culture. And it all began late one night in 1964, with a mother's touch as she fried up leftover ingredients for her hungry son and his friends. The moment trash became a masterpiece. Isn't this the most dramatic plot twist in food history? It shows that from the things that seem most worthless the greatest things can be born. What do you think?